Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole with our first video of the fall 2020 term for Humanities 2333, Philosophy of Life. Everyone, the course material for Humanities 2333 was revised somewhat for the summer term, which I'm just finishing up. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's new in the course. Most of what's new will come after midterm. For now, go ahead and start looking at the material for lectures 1, 2, and 3. There are 16 sets of lecture notes up on the course website in the content area, about one per week, although at the very end we will do 2 of those the last week. That's getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. Right now, what you'll find is that the class notes for Lecture 1 deal with an introduction to the subject matter. Then the second set of notes deals with logic. And the third set of notes, Plato and Aristotle. Now, you should have gotten the assignment from Written Assignment 1, which is due September 17th. Over the course of the term, we'll have 2 written assignments, essays of a few pages, 2 exams, a midterm and a final, and a set of 6 quizzes. 6 25-point quizzes. The best 4 out of 6 will be counted for a 100-point grade. Okay. You will want to go ahead and look at the material from class notes for lectures 1, 2, and 3. That'll take us to the first of the month, because lecture 3 is on the syllabus for August 31st, Monday the 31st, and that will take us on past the first of the month. So you'll want to start taking a look at that material, even though that will take us through the first 3 weeks of the course. You'll want to look ahead a little bit and be looking at those 3 sets of lecture notes for the first 3 weeks of the course. So Written Assignment 1 will be due September 17th. The assignment asks you, are you a Platonist or an Aristotelian? And I've provided some material. The Lecture 3 class notes should help you with that. There's also a file of notes from Professor Guthrie, a well-known historian of philosophy, and I've sent along and posted on the course website notes that I took from his history of philosophy dealing with Aristotle that I hope will be helpful to you. So that material and the Lecture 3 class notes, plus what I've mentioned in the handout that goes on for about a page describing what you're assigned to do in Written Assignment number 1. You may wish to do a little research for this assignment. On the whole, it's asking you to think of your own views and how you view the world, and describe those as to whether you think your views are closer to Plato or closer to Aristotle, or maybe you fall in between, which is okay. Let me just say this. Think about the issue of the relation of form and matter in both Plato and Aristotle. That's really central to determining whether you are a Platonist or an Aristotelian. So that is the assignment for Written Assignment 1, which is due September 17th. Now, we have 6 quizzes. We need to get in 3 of those before the midterm exam, which will be in October. All 3 of those will probably come over the course of the month of September. I'm going to get the assignment out for the first quiz next week, which we will take the week after that, right around the first of the month, I believe. Okay. This quiz material will be on logic, and in particular, informal fallacies. Informal fallacies refer to fallacies of logic that people commit. You can find it in the press, on television, on the internet, in advertising, in your day-to-day dealings with other people. These fallacies are committed all the time. And so it's good for us to be familiar with these logical fallacies. It'll make us better citizens, maybe wiser, more savvy consumers. In many respects, it'll be helpful to us to be familiar with some informal fallacies. So that will be coming up. That assignment will go out next week, and the quiz will be the week after next. Let me just say, beginning this past summer term, I've tried to introduce some new material in the course. The way I teach the course, it's described as philosophy of life in the catalog, but I've always taught it as a mixture of philosophy of life and intro to philosophy. I tried to change up the material in the course so it's a little more of a philosophy of life course. Now that will be especially clear in the second half of the course after midterm. As you run across that material especially, I hope you'll, if you're so moved to do so, give me some idea what you think of it. We've just rolled this material out in the summer term and we're eager to see what students think of it. There had been some highly technical material in the course that took up 3 or 4 weeks. And I've tried to roll that up and condense it into 1 week. That will be the material, I believe, for class notes for lecture 4 on rationalism and empiricism. Okay. You may find that material pretty technical, and there's a quite lengthy reading assignment to go along with that. But we've tried to shrink that back to 1 week of the course, whereas it had taken up several weeks before. In general, everybody, let me say there's been quite a bit of discussion in the press, with many institutions moving online in whole or in part. There's been a lot of discussion about online instruction not being quite the same as conventional in-class instruction, and that's true. I have taught both online and in the conventional classroom. I've taught online exclusively since my status changed from a full-time faculty member to adjunct faculty just over a year ago. The student in the online classroom needs to take initiative. The more initiative the student takes, the more the student will get out of the course. I am just a facilitator. These class notes for lectures 1 through 16 are sort of in the place of what I would be doing if I were speaking to you directly face-to-face in a conventional classroom. So please take note of that. The more initiative you take, the more you will get out of the course. So here at the beginning of the course, what we're faced with is lecture notes for weeks 1, 2, and 3. We'll have a quiz coming up the week after next. We'll get that assignment out next week. And we have written assignment 1 coming up due September 17th. For the first week of the course, class notes for lecture 1, it's an introduction to the subject matter and an attempt to describe what philosophy is. It's a subject matter that's hard to define, but we try to discuss different subfields within philosophy and also the difference between science and philosophy. So I hope you look closely at that and also begin looking at the material for weeks 2 and 3 as we get started here for Philosophy of Life, Humanities 2333 for the fall 2020 term. Any questions, problems, or issues, please contact me at david.cole@opsu.edu. I hope you enjoy the course. Please get started and dig in. Good luck and take it easy.